Mike the Beast here with the first interview in about a year now with my good pal Mitch Hallock.
Mitch, was it a year ago?
It was about...
Were we here last year talking GamerCon?
We were, and Terrificon.
Oh, wow. Jeez Louise, it has been a year. Wow.
And we were talking about imagine...
Did we even mention that it might be a possibility of some Corona thing, or that was not even dreamt of yet?
I think we made a joke about it because Ordway mentioned, because remember his Power of Shazam books were delayed, and we were like, oh, it's probably the Corona.
Oh, yeah. Well, we know that was... Don't joke about things like that, so yeah. Sorry about that.
But
anyway, yes, we're back.
How have you been, Mitch?
I've been good. I'm healthy. You're healthy. Your dad's healthy. That's all you can want. God bless everybody who's not getting sick out there. I mean, that's when it comes home. As much as we like fantasy and comic books and all that stuff, the reality of the situation is, hey, it's scary.
Yeah.
That guy's going. It's a beautiful day out here. Everyone's having a good time, I know.
Winter seems like it's over, so that's
it is. Technically, it is,
yep.
Michael. Come on, we both went to Southern Connecticut. We could read it. It's spring, I believe today or yesterday was the official
I think
day.
it was yesterday.
All right, so there we are. We're springing forward, man. Good.
Right off the bat.
What do you want to know?
You run a few shows throughout in a perfect world. Would you like to give any updates at all on your two big shows?
I'll tell you what. I was on a vacation this last year. Not that I wanted to be on a vacation. I missed everybody, so we got to, do our safely, socially distant stuff and all that, and make sure everybody stayed away from each other. But it sucked. Honestly, I'll tell you the truth, because I missed everybody. I missed you guys. I missed doing the show. I missed talking to the stars, the actors, the artists, all the attendees. I mean, I got a family of about 30,000 people. It's a big family reunion every August, and then for GamerCon as well. But hopefully, optimistically, the word is cautiously optimistic, as I stand here on March 21st. Cautiously optimistic. I talked to my good friends at Mohegan Sun. They work with the Tribal Health Department. They work with the CDC. They work with the Connecticut State Health Department. Everything that we could possibly think of, between where to put booths, how to stagger the attendance, how to make sure there's enough, temperature checks, and what's the word I'm looking for? The cleansing stuff.
Oh, yeah,
sanitizer and people map. Every single precaution is being thought of, and how we're going to pull this off. So, like I said, cautiously optimistic. Right now, as I stand here, we're going to have a show. Might not be the biggest show we ever did. Might not be the smallest show we ever did. But there's something that's going to happen. And every day, with more vaccinations going out there, and hopefully the numbers keep dropping, it gets safer and safer. So we'll hope for the best. That's what I hope for the best. Being Italian, you always plan for the worst, but I'm hoping for the best on this one. So, And same thing with GamerCon. GamerCon is in September this year, September 18th, 19th. Technically, it was supposed to be last week or whatever, but that wasn't going to happen. But I'm hoping by September, it's got to be a better world than we are in right now, But hey, it's a better world than we are now than we were last year at this time. So every day, it gets better and better,
Absolutely, and that's great to hear. That's all good
stuff. It is,
man.
I've talked to you. I think I saw a thing on Facebook that reminded me I've known you for, 5 or 6 years now about that. And I went down to Southern, and I was on your show there.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting life. I got to tell you, doing these conventions, having this year off, you get a lot of time of reflection. Like, what was it all about? It was the greatest job I'll ever have. Met a lot of great people, met a lot of not so great people, met a lot of crazy people. I say sometimes this job is like working in a circus with the people backstage. I mean, for every trapeze artist, there's a couple clowns, but you got to deal with everybody. But overall, it's been fun, and yeah, I don't know about you, because I know you go to a lot of shows too, but I have missed traveling up and down the East Coast, going to conventions, bringing my postcards, bringing my posters, stapling them to walls, and that's what I do literally all year long. I'm Johnny Appleseed. I got my box full of flyers, and I just put them everywhere I can go, and I've been, grounded for a year.
I'm with you, because I now at Terrificon, GamerCon. I was going to the New Jersey Horror Monster Mania.
Monster Mania, yeah.
It's always a fun time.
Oh yeah,
CT Horror Fest.
Connecticut Horror Fest, you name it. CliffsCon, Super Mega Fest, all of them, man. We do them all. East Coast Comic Con, Garden State Comic Con. Those are all my buddies. It's our family.
You get that,
haven't seen them.
You get that weekend, a few days, just to do what we love to do and talk about. about, and we avoid eating withdrawals, but it's come close.
I know. I'll tell you one thing, it's been a boom for friends over here at Cave Comics because everybody's been home. Pokemon came back, which is crazy. Comic books are selling through the roof because everybody's home and they're reading books and they're speculating? Like, hey, I saw a shadow on Falcon and Winter Soldier. That shadow could be MODOK's younger sister. That first appearance is now $500. That's gone nuts.
That car's the Mephisto, I think.
Mephisto, yeah. Mephisto is here. I knew it was. I think I told you and your dad. You asked me, I saw you a couple weeks ago. You said, hey, you think Mephisto's in this? I go, no, it's not going to be Mephisto and the Scarlet Witch. They're better than that. Marvel's not that shallow. They're going to telegraph it. I mean, they're going to pull this out of thin air and you're going to be like, I didn't see that coming.
My thing was, I'm kind of in between. I didn't think we'd get, as the season went on, and this kind of segues into Wandavision. Yeah. As the season went on, the more and more I'm like, God, maybe we're not going to get him, but maybe we'll get the Thanos tease at the end of Avengers.
Oh, okay, maybe. Well, I don't know. I could see that. I liked how that whole Quicksilver freaked everybody. Oh my God, they've merged the two movie franchises, and then it turned out to be not at all. And I was like, that's kind of fun that they kind of. It's like the Mandarin kind of pulling your rug under your feet. You don't like it all the time, but that one was kind of like, see, you people jumped the gun. They never said it was going to be him. Why did you have to think it was going to be the Fox X-Men movies?
It was almost like they were able to time travel and see all our predictions and theories. They kept, like you said, pulling the rug from underneath us.
Don't you want to be surprised?
Exactly.
You don't want to go to the fun house and know every time the clown's going to pop out of the bushes. You want to know. You don't want to know. You want to be surprised, It came
down to the finale, and I was thinking to myself, I'm kind of not hoping that what I want doesn't happen, but at the same time, it'll be something I didn't see coming, which you can't beat that.
Just like Quicksilver said, you didn't see that coming. You didn't. You was like, well, okay, all right. White Vision. Now the Vision's back. I mean, spoiler alert, everyone's probably seen it. Anybody watching your stuff knows all. They probably saw it before it, bootleg. But the White Vision's back. Now she's the real Scarlet Witch with the title and the name and the outfit and all that stuff. We've got Sword. We've got all kind of subplots happening here.
Skrulls
were back. Jimmy Woo's there. And then just to calm down, they give you a week off to catch your breath. And then bang, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Oh my God. Aerial stunts. Falcon's flying around. Bucky's over there trying to get a date. I mean, who would have thought all these things?
Batroc the Leaper's back.
Batroc the Leaper. He can't fly too well, but hey, man, he's still leaping around there. That was amazing stuff. I mean, it's digital, practical, but it just looks so well done. I don't mind that I spent a year up watching Dumbo and Pinocchio cartoons. I'm like, what did I pay for? I already saw these movies. I don't want to watch Bedknobs and Broomsticks again. I want to watch the friggin' Marvel and the Mandalorian and all that jazz, But it came back, man,
Marvel's so good at making you care about, and I never hated or disliked characters, but I'll go back to WandaVision quick. Yeah. I only knew of Wanda through the 90s animated X-Men series where she had one episode. Yeah. And then there was the show.
Those weren't even good. No.
There was a show with X-Men Evolution where she was like, they made everyone kind of like younger. It was almost like...
Oh, she was on the mutant stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It was almost like a Harry Potter.
Yeah.
They were all young adults at the mansion. Yeah. And so she was in that show, but I never really knew much. I knew she was Magneto's daughter. Vision, and I never
liked the Vision. As a kid, I'd be, oh God, because he was always like this Mr. Spock character, like very unemotional, and the color scheme, yellow and green. I was like, what is he, a traffic light? I never understood that one. But it worked well in this story, I mean, it's amazing that Paul Bettany brings a character who has no emotions, this gravitas, so you're upset. You're like, oh my God, he's gonna die again. You're like bawling here,
Yeah.
Never saw that coming. But.
And I always liked Falcon Winter Soldier, but they're sidekicks. But now I'm already invested one episode in the Falcon Winter Soldier.
You know what I like? How they switched the tones of the show. Like WandaVision, you didn't know what the hell was going on. It was like a 50s show, and then it turned into this magic thing, and now I thought this is what's going to happen with Falcon Winter Soldier. It's going to be like a Jason Bourne, Tom Clancy spy thriller type of thing, which they really haven't done since the Winter Soldier. And sure enough, the first episode, it looked like I was watching a Jason Bourne movie or something, or a James Bond movie, So that's great.
And
we'll see.
Overall, you liked WandaVision?
Loved WandaVision. I love all this stuff. I mean, even if it was bad, you don't understand, Michael. Before you were born, you and your dad and I, we'd have to watch movies like The Swamp Thing and The Swamp Thing Returns. Movies that were horrible. The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren. My God, Captain America with Matt Salinger and the rubber ears. These were horrible. You don't understand. It's like somebody fed you mud every day of your life, and suddenly you get filet mignon. You're not going to go back to mud, you know? So it is what it is.
And they leave us wanting more always after these episodes.
Always, man, always.
It's funny. Part of me wish they drop it all like Netflix does.
No, I like waiting. This is how things were when we grew up. You can't, you kids, you're spoiled. You're not downloading everything. You gotta wait. I waited 3 years to see what happened to Luke Skywalker and Han Solo, buddy. 3 years. You can wait a week, okay?
But on the flip side, I love the water cooler conversations it's created. I love, I never really went on Reddit before WandaVision, but I quickly went to Reddit after each episode.
I fell in love with YouTube, okay? I watch all those videos, like Screen Rant, like 70,000 things you missed during watching WandaVision. I didn't realize that. And sometimes I think they make some of the stuff up. They're like, this show happened on a Tuesday. If fans remember, Tuesday was the day that Jack Kirby invented the world. I'm like, oh, I didn't see that, So it's great watching those shows. And besides, like I told you, if it wasn't for the internet, it wasn't for the lockdown, and it wasn't for people still trying to get that nerd energy going, I wouldn't have had to talk about the Justice League movie for 17 hours this last weekend. I've been on 12 different shows. And Zack Snyder's calling me up. I don't know what's going on. I mean, he's cut me a check.
It's funny you say it, because I even did an hour and a half review with one of the members of the community yesterday.
I know. It's like, I think you know what it is? I think we're so stuck inside without cons that we're like desperate to talk to another face about, did you watch this show? Yeah. Let's talk about it, because we're stuck here,
It's SnyderCut, and I know you know, anything you haven't said that you want to say about it?
If you haven't seen what I thought about the SnyderCut, go read the article I wrote for Fandom Spotlight, plus go watch the one I did on Geek Time TV, plus the Mitch and Ed Excellent Adventure, plus the Chaz and AJ show, plus there was another show I was on. I don't even know anymore. But yes, it was great. It was epic. It was 4 hours. It was everything that should have been back in 2017 if they let the guy do his job. And I'm glad they let it happen, because you don't usually get a second chance. You don't usually get here,
And I think
maybe The Last Jedi, they could do that one again. Wait for that. Yeah.
And I think I think you said this in one of the interviews.
One of them.
Usually when you get a director's cut, it's usually like, you see him walk into the bathroom.
It's those weird outtakes. You're like, oh, okay, it's from a different angle. They just edit it, or it's stuff that there's a reason why. I used to collect. Not so much, but I used to collect Bruce Springsteen bootleg albums and stuff, it's like songs that didn't make the real album and concert stuff that they never released. And my wife would hear some of them and she'd go, maybe there's a reason why they didn't put it on the album, because it's not. I'm shut up. So when you would see these, I would get the road cut for X-Men. I'd get the extended Batman versus Superman, and then you go, okay, they just put like 15 minutes of scenes. It really didn't change the movie that much, but my God, this thing, it's a whole new movie. I told Ordway, I understand that they have the same story, that the same plot, everything is the same. But it's like when I was a kid, we would read Cliff Notes. You didn't read the book for school, you went out and got the Cliff Notes, which was like a summary, a synopsis of it. That's what the first Justice League movie felt like. This is like the full 1,000-page book, that you read, and you liked reading it too.
Yeah.
My God, that man really had vision, huh?
90% of the time watching it, I'm going, why wasn't that in the film?
Why didn't we put that in the film? I could have lived without the Aquaman slow motion music video, without a shirt. Because if you don't mind, Michael, I'm going to take my shirt off right now and walk slowly towards the camera. I'm sure my wife will be like, cut that out right now. Leave the Jason Momoa, but cut my husband out of it. And I was like, hey, if you're so worried about the oceans, buddy, go pick that bottle up you just threw in that beach. Yeah, some kid's going to cut their foot on that. And those women that were singing The Cult of Aquaman, and she's sniffing his shirt, which must smell like Star-Kissed tuna anyway. What's that about? And I was like, I could have lived without that.
Yeah.
There's a little tweaks here.
But overall, I'm a Superman guy. I know you are too. The more Superman we got. And
more Superman made sense.
The scene when he's having the conversations with both Jor-El and Pa Kent.
Oh, as he's walking to get his new wardrobe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great, wasn't it?
Yeah. And
you needed that,
In his intro, but not impressed when Steppenwolf's about to
he's just about to get her. He shows up. See, well, the Joss Whedon one, almost seemed like, I was telling Ordway, it was like a musical comedy, because they all have these like little quips and these little gags and these stupid jokes, and it just was not a good. It is what it is. You know what I mean? I mean, knowing back in 2017, I had a feeling it wasn't really the best movie ever. Now you know it wasn't, because you go, oh my God, this is what it was supposed to be, and you gave me that? How dare you? You gave me a TV dinner when I had a full course meal? Yeah. You know?
Because Cyborg's character, he's like the most important character.
He's the center of the story. You need Cyborg to come to grips with being reborn by his dad, and then at the end he saves the freaking day by ripping the mother box apart. The other movie, it was like, oh yeah, there's a guy in a shiny suit. And he just went right by. Even the Flash had more.
I was just about to bring him up. It's like Josh tried to make him too much like Peter Parker, quippy.
The little like squire who wants to be a knight, and he's following along. He doesn't know how to do his job, and he's like, how do I save people? All that. Dude knew what he was doing. He had like 1,000 TVs. He's already running around saving people from car accidents and stuff. He wasn't like a loser like they made him in the first movie. Nah, you'll be all worked up, Michael. You're all crazy. It's a better movie. End of story.
And I don't.
We want that sequel.
Restore the Snyderverse.
Restore the sequel, Snyder sequel. Release the Snyder sequel. That's the new tagline. Hashtag right here. You saw the birth of it.
And you mentioned Jack Kirby.
There goes Dark Side right now.
Perfect. You mentioned Jack Kirby. I'm a huge fan. He was the focus of Terrificon a few years ago.
Yeah, he was. His 100th birthday, we did a big Jack Kirby celebration, yeah.
It was, for me, it was great seeing an improved Steppenwolf and
oh God, yeah.
the fourth world in general. You got Desaad.
You got Desaad. They did the anti-life equation. They hinted at that too.
And Darkseid.
And Darkseid. And you got to see them all. You said Granny Goodness in the background. It's like, oh my God, look at all the stuff they were gonna do.
Hey everyone, it's Mike. We came from Cave Comics in Newtown to the comfort of our own homes here. I apologize for last week. I'm going over the footage from our interview, and we had a little technical difficulties. Rookie mistake, forgot to clear my SD card fully. So Mitch was very kind to kind of continue the interview via Zoom. So we left off right around the point where we were talking about local artists in the community, and you mentioned some of the ones that you follow.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because this whole pandemic, like I said last week, it was shutting us down. We can't really talk to each other, unlike this, what we're doing now. So all the guys that I talked to, Bun Lung, Tom Ryan, Riley Brown, all those folks, Ryan Brown, they've all been home making fantastic artwork. Rob Taylor at Hero Fight, all my buddies and stuff. Just because there hasn't been any cons doesn't mean you can't buy cool art and pins and all kind of things. So just go out there, check their Etsy pages, check their Facebook pages, check their Instagrams, Twitter. You know, follow me because I try to repost stuff all the time for these guys and help generate business while we've been waiting home for this all to end. So, you know, and you mentioned too that you're getting commissions done. I think you talked about somebody you follow too, right?
Yeah, his name's Ralph Burrows. He was a guest on the Pressable Defects channel, one of the members of the community that had him on. And not only does he do like sketches, art, digital art, he does these amazing paper mache statues, and he's done like every character under the sun, and not just comics, pop culture, horror. The detail he puts into the paper mache is unbelievable. And then along with those, like I got 3 prints. I showed them off in my last video. He did the Joker, Riddler, and Penguin. And the colors he used were just phenomenal. So he's Ralph Burrows, Riley Bart on Instagram, and he's got very fair prices. And all the information is in my last video, and I'll also include his info in the description here. Guy was super nice. I believe he's from the New York area, and it was great transaction, went smoothly, got back to me really fast. So what's great is like all these guys are, like you said, they're just available, and you can still purchase such great art. Also, I mentioned the Pressable Defects. The thing I've really learned more about and have been fortunate to become a member of more during this pandemic is the Instagram, YouTube community. There's so many great people I've been able to meet, you know, through stuff like this, a few of the smaller cons, and it's just been unbelievable. Yeah, I think you mentioned you follow some of them as well, right?
Oh, for goodness sakes. Yeah. I can't get I miss going to all the comic book shops when I used to go promote Terrificon. I was at every shop up and down from Maine to Maryland. and talking to everybody. But it's the cool thing because I get to see my friends over at like Very Gary, or I'll follow Comic Tom or Comics with Bueller or Otto, the 3 Men in the Basement. I mean, there's so many of them. My whole YouTube feed, I don't even watch regular TV. I go every night to see what new shows are on from my buddies, and I just follow them and I listen to them talk about comic books, Omni Bros. Excuse
Bless you.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah, I got an allergy. I started doing the lawn the other day, so we're back in the spring. COVID, forget that. It's back to pollen season. Sorry, folks. I already got my COVID vaccination, so I know it's not that. But yeah, I've just like follow comic book collecting online. It's been fantastic. There's a lot of shows that are almost like mini documentaries that teach you about the history of comics. I mean, I don't know as much as I think I do sometimes, but especially with all these new shows like WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, they have like Screen Rant will go in, or Screen Crush. One of them will go in there and they'll dissect the episode and they'll show you all the different Easter eggs you might have missed and stuff. And it makes it even more fun to watch these shows afterwards because you can go, oh, look, the license plate is referring to Stan Lee's birthday and that's this and that. There's all this, so many layers to these shows that it's just like, like a little puzzle book when you were a kid. You used to go in there and you find the missing horseshoe or something like that,
Exactly. And then, some other great members. I'll run some by quickly. Messing the Pressable Defects. There's Very Gary, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Erod212 is another guy who does a lot. He does his own comic pressing, cleaning, and pressing, and he'll submit to CGC. Yeah. And
nice.
And he's great. He uploads multiple videos a week. Then we also have No Good Comics, who does X-Men omnibus reads. He does.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's great. He does interviews every Saturday afternoon at 2. I try to share his interviews when he does on my Instagram page, but he's great. There's Newbie Comics out of Canada, and he does a lot of he does mail calls, he does spec videos, and he's with his buddy Hyper Combo Comics. He has his own channel. There's the Spine Ticks that do so much. They do an awesome Saturday night show. They're from the West Coast. And there's, like you said, there's just so many. Yeah, my YouTube feed's just the people from the community, and then the people like the new rock stars, Screen Crush, Emergency Awesome. It's just, we live in a great world. We're fortunate when a pandemic's going on, we can still, see how our buddies are doing and see what other people think of the stuff we love. So it's been incredible. Yeah,
and don't forget, there's a certain Terrificon promoter has a new show out there called Mitch and Ed's Excellent Adventure. Every 2 weeks, my buddy from Australia, Ed Dollister, and I go looking at old movies, TV shows, toys, you name it. So that's one to watch. If you want to know everything about the Superman movies and, even Winter Soldier or the X-Men pictures or Starsky and Hutch, just check us out on YouTube, because I know people can't get enough of seeing my beautiful face,
Definitely. And I've been tuning into that as well. You guys have been doing a great job. And
thanks.
Being, you're welcome. As me, a horror fan, you did like your top Halloween movies, I think.
Yeah,
that was a fun episode.
That was when I had no body. I was just floating. We have fun with the green screen on that show and trying to do little special effects on our Lucasfilm ILM budget of $1.
And then you're also you do a few podcasts as well.
Oh,
right?
Good God. Yeah. Jerry Ordway and I still get together. Even during the lockdown, we were doing it on Zoom stuff, but then we started going back to Colony Pizza in Fairfield, Connecticut. That's a little plug to Sarah, the singing waitress out there. Jerry and I get together and we just talk about comic books, TVs, movies, and more as we eat pizza and drink beer, and it's always fun. And you don't know where the conversation is going to go. It's like literally you sit there like you're in the booth with us and hear the two of us go off about comic books sometimes, or sometimes Jerry's complaining about his lawn or what fertilizer, or I'm yelling about the dog. I mean, it's just, if you want to hear two old guys with nothing to do, listen to the Power Cosmic podcast. Hours of boring fun for everybody.
It's awesome because I do a lot of driving for work. Sometimes I have almost hour-length drives. So there you go. It's a perfect length for that. So I love. Yeah,
we're a good time killer. And then I'm on the local. If you're in Connecticut, I'm on the Chaz and AJ morning show every Friday with my top 10 lists, like David Letterman of comic books, and the IndieCast. I mean, I'm on a bunch of I do a radio show Pinted Comics. I'm the permanent co-host or guest co-host up in Middletown, WESU, Wesleyan University, every Sunday night at 6:30 on your FM dial, or you can listen online at wesu.org. So yeah, I'm all over the place, Mike. I gotta get to these shows. I gotta get out there. I mean, every weekend I used to be at a different convention.
Yeah. And then you've also been, I guess I'll plug one more podcast on Word Balloon, John Suntress's podcast.
Oh yeah. Oh my God,
great.
Yeah. Suntress knows everybody. Of course he hosts all the panels at Terrificon and the comic guests. But if you want to talk to Tom King or Donnie Cates or Ryan Stegman, you just listen to John Suntress over there. And he knows everybody. And then he had a show too. We did Star Trek Watch, where we watched Star Trek Lower Decks, Picard, and Discovery Season 3. Myself, John, and Franco from All Yeah Comics. We just sat there every week. Pretty much, if you want to see a bunch of old men just yell about how bad everything is and everything sucks, that's the show to watch, because we hated everything. I mean, looking back at it now, it was like a hate fest. We tried to like it, but everything sucked. We were like, it sucks. And it was just a matter to see who could yell at each other, who could scream it sucked the most. So, yeah, that's another show. So, yeah, awesome. I'm on a lot of stuff.
And you mentioned shows.
Cold medicine too. Yeah.
There's shows. I think correct me if I'm wrong. You said you're going to be at the Little Giant show.
Oh yeah. In April, I'll be up there. It's a month from now, I think, or less time than that. Yeah. I bought my tickets and can't wait to go. I went there last August. That was like one of the few shows there, and Jason puts on a great show, and a lot of comic book dealers, a lot of comic book people. If you're into that, if you want to see great comic book collecting, it's not a show for art actors and that. It's comic books. It's pure. I like that. That's what I like. I go to CliffsCon too. If you're in Connecticut, in Plainville, they're like every last Sunday, like 8 times a year. Just check the calendar for CliffsCon up in Plainville. I'll be there tomorrow. I don't know when this is going to air, but I'll be shopping for books. So,
as will I. That's a fun show. Yeah. And I think I closed it last time saying, you talked about where else you can find you social media wise, and keep up with all the con updates. If you wanted to plug your social media accounts again.
Oh, for goodness sakes. Just go at Twitter. It's Terrificon. Then there's Mitch Hallock, King of the Nerds. That's my Twitter stuff. And then I'm on Facebook, Mitch Hallock, Terrificon, CTGamercon. We have a group for Terrificon. It's a private group. So, but that's if you want to get on there and ask questions and such. And, don't feel ashamed if you don't know what the ultimate nullifier is. And then I'm on Instagram, and, even my dog Harley has her own Instagram page now, because I've been walking her so much. So you can look for Harley Hallock. Yeah, but it's not hard to find me. I'm all over like horse manure, as my dad would say, and full of it too, lots of times.
Well, Mitch, thank you. Once again, thank you so much. Thank you for meeting with me quick here today to finish the interview. I appreciate it. Everyone, hope you enjoyed. I'm going to leave a lot of information, links in the comments or in the description, a lot of the channels we mentioned and stuff, so you can follow all those. I want to thank everyone who's been tuning in, who's been liking on social media, commenting, subscribing, and if you haven't, please subscribe. It's great community to be a part of, and I'm I think at 81 subscribers now, so I'm so close to 100.
Wow, you're getting up there, Michael. I knew you
almost.
I knew you when you were in nobody. You had 2 people watching you. You, me, and your dad. That's it. Now look at you. You're a pop star, pop icon. Look at that.
It's not easy.
You're gonna break the internet, Michael. You watch. I can say I knew you won. Yeah.
But once again, Mitch, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Welcome to nice spring weather, and take it easy, everybody.
All right. Bye.